Welcome to the Robson Botanical Garden. This is April 4th, 5th, something like that. Our honeysuckle is all in bloom, as well as our fringe flowers. You can see back there is our snowball viburnum. These are all the ladybanks roses, which are multiplying on a yearly basis. And they are thick this year. All of our azaleas are in bloom. I should say most of the azaleas are in bloom. The hydrangeas haven't quite popped out yet. We're kind of questionable whether this side of the house is going to survive. So we used to have, our neighbor had a 60 some odd feet tall pine tree that they had to take down. And unfortunately, the guy they hired was very cheap and destroyed quite a few of our plants. We had 9 bushes total that were damaged, 2 that had to be completely taken out because the guy didn't clean up his stuff, and when he was pulling down everything, he squashed our ever-red orpedilum. Very upset about that. And so all of our ladybanks are growing beautifully. Our camellia did a stunning job blooming this year. There's more ladybanks there. Luke actually trimmed them back last year, and man, they're still growing. So the camellia, the royal velvet, is just about done blooming. It's been blooming now for, I don't know, 6 weeks maybe. I just cut the nandina down. We have some clematis here. Again, kind of questionable if it'll grow or not because we've had so much damage. And that's one of our fancy abelias. All of our loropetalum are in bloom. Actually, I think these started blooming several weeks ago. The abelias here are finally, and the ligustrum are finally kind of popping up. A lot of this area here is all new. The rose bushes all have buds on them. Oh, look at that. We got one little rose starting. Just one. I would guess it's going to be probably another week or so, and we're going to have full blooms. Our magnolia is probably going to be blooming in another week or so. These are columbine there. Luke is just now taking down the pampas grass. We kept it up all winter because we wanted to. He's already trimmed the pittosporum. These were a lot higher. You can see, even though it's getting warmer out, all of our pansies are still plenty alive. The lavender all have new growth on them. Well, the 2 that we own. We actually planted quite a few lavender, and some of them just didn't survive that well. And then this year, because of everything going on, we decided to trim down some on our porch plants. This is a lemon glow camellia. It's also been blooming for weeks. Believe it or not, this is a hellebore, and it's supposed to bloom like that. These 2 hellebores we actually pulled out of one of the other planters, but we're going to have a smaller amount this year and not have as much in. I lost over 200 houseplants last year through various and sundry issues. Not all of them pest or worm related, but that's the way it is. We still have just a couple of blooms left on the new cherry trees that we have. You can just see they're just kind of starting to fade. But these bloomed out really, really well. They were, gosh, probably 5 or 6 feet tall, and Luke decided to trim them down. All of the tea olives are all blooming. They should be done soon. There's Asher. He keeps an eye on everybody. That's getting ready. All of our clematis are getting ready to bloom probably pretty soon. I think we have 5 or 6 colors happening. Because this azalea is in heavy shade, it's usually the last one to bloom, but all the hostas have popped up again. The hydrangeas haven't really set buds yet, but they're got a lot of leaves. Asher, watch out. There's another clematis there. Eventually I took down all of our bird feeders because we had an enormous amount of problems with miller moths, and with the amount of squirrels we had were staggeringly bad. There's our twinkle toes lungwort. We have another little one that's trying to grow there, and one of our azaleas. And these are acubas. This is the third year, I think, we have of Walker's garden, our Asian garden. And everything's kind of starting to fill in quite a bit. We have the evergreens that are doing here are doing really well. The maples are growing in. You know, it's kind of standard to lose a lot of plants, and unfortunately sometimes that happens. That's a ginkgo. People say it smells. I don't smell it, obviously. But these are the cranes that we got last year. This is Japanese spurge under this tree, along with hellebores there. And we have various grasses back there. And this area is growing really, really well. We should have a lot of the viburnum and all of that should be blooming pretty soon. This is Jackson's Pond for our greyhound that passed away a couple months after we moved in here. We have peacocks now. We have a gigantic pagoda. And man, that thing was a bear to grow back. We've kind of added some stuff that came from gullies. It had been there for so long, nobody even knew a price about it. That's our old chimnea, which we are not allowed to fire up probably at all this year because we have an enormous amount of issues with not enough rain. They've had a no-burn notice for quite some time. We have the osmanthus. All four of the dragons are out. This is our variegated weeping maple. It hasn't started variegating yet, but the leaves just popped up on this. Here's our shade ivy garden. Some of this is bush ivy, some of it's fatsia. This hawthorn in the back here, which is not actually ours, is blooming. If you see all of these are wavy leaf ligustrum. If you see the taller plants back here, those are John Porter hollies, and they, honestly, this place either gets full sun or full shade. So hopefully the ligustrums, which grow in all of that, maybe we'll get lucky and something will grow. Everything else that we've tried to grow here, it just didn't really grow much. It's our English wisteria. This is, I think it's a viburnum, and this is really the first year it's bloomed really, really well. It doesn't normally bloom this well. That was, forget which one that is, but that's our lilac bush, and it really produced a lot of flowers this year, and we produced flowers for almost 3 weeks. And that was Luke's try for a cast iron plant, which really grew well. I'm sure that everyone thinks that they can grow these. I can't. I tried growing them as indoor plants, never worked. Ooh, pittosporum's really grown this year. Wow. A lot of new leaf on it. Another little azalea. This is a type of weeping chestnut. You can kind of get a better view of the yard here. One of the Miss Kim lilacs. To me, these have absolutely no smell, but they are finally growing, and they do tend to grow better down here than a lot of the other ones. And this is our snowball viburnum. Technically, this is actually 2 plants. This is, last year it was great. This year it's even better. So this is the size of these things. They are huge, absolutely giant. You'll see that some of them are still green. The bigger ones are actually still green. They haven't quite matured fully yet, but the smaller ones, they are all perfect white. A lot of the fringe flowers here are done. This is our ruby magnolia. It's a dwarf variety. We didn't know how this one would do, but looks like it's actually going to do just fine. The spirea that was in bloom is actually all done now. Another very fancy, very bright azalea. This one gets a lot more sun, so it's really good. We have more ladybanks roses back here. The yellow ones are thornless. The whites do have thorns. Found that out the hard way. And then this is a very wild type of vine. We got it at Big Bloomers. I don't even remember the name of it, but the flowers look like there's something out of this world. All of our Asiatic lilies are starting to get ready. Oh, we have a white iris up. The purple iris bloomed last week or the week before. And wow, didn't realize we had white. And then this year, all we have on the porch, we do have 4 fountains. There's Graham. All we have on the porch this year, like I said, I lost over 200 plants. That was dramatic. Is our fountains, and then I think I only had like about 16 plants in the house. We no longer have a canopy. I'm going to put up a new canopy because our kitten last year, Apollo, who is now a full-size cat, decided to use it as a hammock. So that was awesome. And unfortunately, this Thai constellation is new. I wound up losing all my Thai constellations as well. So that's it for today.